Good evening, friends, and welcome to yet another very exciting session on Candid Mina. We have Dr. Vinod here with us. Welcome, Dr. Vinodji.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, friends, in today's session, as we know that the winter session of the Parliament is underway, and both the Modi government and the opposition, are going at it each other on various topics, the one day Mataram controversy, and also before that, I would like to discuss is the very important point is that when Putin, came to India, and there was a dinner, and apparently neither Rahul Gandhi nor Mallikarjun Kharge were invited for the official dinner hosted by the President Draupadi Murmu. And guess who was invited? It was none other than Shashi Tharoor. So, what is happening, Vinodji? That Shashi Tharoor and BJP seem to be getting closer to each other as day passes.
See, basically, the first thing I would say is nowhere does the protocol mandate leader of parliament presence is a mandatory thing or a customary thing for every state banquet. That is the first thing. Now, see, what has happened now with the geopolitical situation which is emerging in the world is a very important meeting that head of Russian President Vladimir Putin has come to India. I think it is his 23rd or 24th or even 25th visit. That is that summit. Now, the thing is, I'm not saying that is a summit is around 25th summit. See, it's a very important meeting. We know that Putin very rarely visits other countries in the present scenario. He has recently gone to Alaska, very specifically chosen place in US called Alaska for a very short time. He has gone to China. But have we seen him visiting any other place? It is a very rare event. So with US standing against us after Operation Sindoor, and many of the European countries are finding fault with, and US finding fault with we dealing with Russia. This is a very important event. And probably Rahul Gandhi and the Congress should have taken this thing as a very serious issue and very important thing for India as a whole, rather than going for a dinner. As I said, nowhere it is said that in the protocol, there is a protocol mandate that leader of opposition or leader of parliament, opposition in parliament, it is mandatory to be present in every state banquet. And it's not that BJP or Modi or whoever has decided that excluded Congress. As you said, Shashi Tharoor was invited. It is very important. Of course, Rahul Gandhi or Mallikarjun Kharge was not invited, and they call it as another law. Now, if you look in the past, when this has started, this calling the opposition leader and all started, probably during the time of Vajpayee, when there was actually a big coalition government of around 27-28 parties. Then the next Prime Minister, Manmohan Singh, also followed. This was where the custom, the so-called tradition and the so-called custom has started. Probably Modi or the current government thought the custom has to be discontinued, especially whenever Rahul Gandhi is present in a situation, there are actually chaos. We know about his recent visits to many countries, and has he spoken anything good about India? I don't think he has spoken anything good about India, and certain very interesting statements which he has compared with a motorcycle, with a car and all, has created total surprise at the blunder of the idea itself. So suppose something goes wrong, because you cannot predict what he is going to do in a particular situation. And I don't think the current government has a trust that he will behave accordingly in a situation, specific, very critical situation. So probably they thought it is wiser not to call him. But then, see, what was happening. India was showcasing our Indian culture, cuisine, hospitality, and probably when they decide who ought to be invited in the president's house, probably they consider the space, the sensitivity of the visit of the person, diplomatic priorities, representation of balance, everything probably they will consider. As I said, because there is no rule which says that a leader of opposition in parliament must be present in all these state banquets. There is no violation of protocol which has happened as far as I can understand. And there is no constitutional requirement that the leader of opposition has to be present in such a state banquet. So then we should also see that Shashi Tharoor, as you said, was invited. See, he is a globally recognized diplomat, former Minister of State for External Affairs, and UN Under Secretary General, isn't it? So probably his presence creates a much more value and a soft power representation rather than Rahul Gandhi presenting in that banquet. Probably he will be able to talk with Russians also. So we can say opposition was not totally ignored. Shashi Tharoor was definitely present. And see the way he viewed it. And later he posted it on social media, X and all, that it was a very good gathering. He was very happy to interact with Russian diplomats. Do you think Rahul Gandhi would have said that after that banquet? He would have found some fault with the whole situation. So probably it was smarter or wiser to exclude him, as there is no protocol which is binding the government to do that. See, it's not that he was always excluded. In the last 10 years, when Prime Ministers of Bangladesh, Mauritius, Malaysia, Vietnam, and New Zealand was here, then Rahul Gandhi, it is a choice of Putin also probably. We don't know. See, when government of India is arranging this, the government department, which all departments should meet Putin, they or their dignitaries, that the government decide. But whom Putin should meet, it is also a choice of Putin, isn't it? Or the Russian delegation. Probably he was not interested in meeting Rahul Gandhi in the current context. Why we are not considering that? Or why Congress is not considering that? And it's actually a very petty thing in a situation like this, saying that I was not invited for a dinner. It is not about food. It is about something much, much beyond food. It's about diplomacy. It's about how things evolve in such a situation. I think opposition failed miserably in projecting the way what they have done. That is what I would say as a preliminary thing in this.
Yeah. Also, Vinodji, Kerala election is in April next year. So leading up to that, now how does Shashi Tharoor? He's been missing the important meetings of Sonia Gandhi lately, and his equation with the Gandhis is not very good at that point. Anything can happen in the lead up to the Kerala election.
So selection of Shashi Tharoor would have been a very, very strategical thing done by the government also, or the BJP government, or Modi, or Amit Shah, or whoever decided on these things. It's an optics. We are not bothered about Rahul Gandhi. We are not bothered about Garge, but we are bothered about certain smart individuals within Congress party. We are ready to accept them. It is not that we are totally neglecting Congress. And the image it gives Shashi Tharoor is actually phenomenally different, especially in the wake of Kerala elections. And Congress is not able to do anything in handling Shashi Tharoor also. See, you consider the importance of this meeting. Our trade target is by 2030, India-Russia trade target is targeted at $100 billion US. There is joint production in defense area, there are space supply, technology sharing, nuclear investment like new reactors. Where is the role of Rahul Gandhi in dealing with such a situation? But then even Shashi Tharoor, so it's important that Shashi Tharoor is present there. He was leading our Operation Sindoor, post-Operation Sindoor delegation to even US. So he is a very good communicator. He can get along with people. He may not offend people. Suppose in such a very important meeting, Rahul Gandhi takes some certain strategies and offend the delegation. We could be in a very sorry situation, isn't it? So I think calling Shashi Tharoor has multiple implications. One thing is a very good diplomat. The government trusts him in how to deal with the situation. He can interact with the Russian delegation. So it's not only politics, it's a comprehensive, probably decision which has led to the invitation of Shashi Tharoor into that. Of course, he has made use of that. He has utilized that. He has also presented that I will be going even if our leaders are not affected. It would have been ideal. Shashi Tharoor also said it would have been ideal if Rahul Gandhi and Garge was invited, but that doesn't matter to me. I will be going. And he has gone and probably written nice thing about that. And he has done his job well, isn't it? So I think it's not only politics, it's beyond politics, especially when you are dealing with a very important country like Russia. It's not only politics. You present the best team there, very exclusive team there, which will improve the image of India in the eyes of Russian delegation. I think they have done it nicely. I would put it like that, rather than it's a pure political thing or belittling Rahul Gandhi or Garge. Probably this guy is a better person for that.
Yeah. There's a question from Snehal, and she says that Congress is not a strong opposition in Kerala. They have hands in all the mess done by the left. Wonder what is your take?
See, now 2 terms of left party is getting over. Never ever in the past a single party has taken continuous 2 terms. So Congress had a great chance. But unfortunately, certain things associated with one of their MLAs has created a lot of problems. See, for a small local body election, that should not be the way. But the way they handled that Rahul Mankutathil MLA's case, alleged rape case, has created a lot of problems. People have lost trust. It is actually a big boon to the leftist parties, especially they were actually at a back foot because of the Sabarimala gold theft issue. So Congress is not able to actually present themselves in the right way. So probably VD Sadishan was the potential CM. That election is coming in probably February 2026. That will be the time. Then VD Sadishan was the potential candidate as the CM, as the leader of opposition. But I think KC Venugopal has an interest in that post of CM post, because he doesn't see any scope in the center for the time being, for at least for the next 5 years or probably next 20 years. I don't know. I really don't know. So his interest was in the center, but now I think he wants to return to Kerala. So I think probably that is what I feel. He used even this issue of that MLA to belittle VD Sadishan. I think that has created a big problem because, it's actually too much into local politics, but I would say they are not at the right time or they are not at their peak, especially how they handle the MLA Rahul Mankutathil case of that I don't know. I think people are aware about the alleged rape case which is being charged against him. He is for the last 11, 12 years, he is not to be seen. Police failed miserably to arrest that person, though there is a warrant against him. Recently the High Court has given a temporary ban to arrest him in one of the cases, but in the other case, he can be arrested. So it's actually unfortunately, a bad time for the Congress. And because they couldn't utilize the whole thing properly. That is what I would say. Probably if I was in their decision making, I would have been done that a totally different manner. Unfortunately, they failed. And actually, the local body elections till Trivandrum, from Trivandrum to Ernakulam is happening tomorrow. So I think they are having a tough time. And probably left, and more importantly, BJP is going to utilize that. Let's see. The elections are going to happen tomorrow and in another 2 days' time in the rest of Kerala. That is local body elections.
Yeah, so coming to the next point, Vinodji, is with regards to Indigo Airlines, and Rahul Gandhi has taken a jibe, and he has said that this whole monopoly model charge. So apparently, this whole Indigo thing is a huge mess, as we all know. That Indigo has more than, say, 65% of the share of in India, right? With regards to the domestic carriers. So heavy punishment should be given, isn't it, for this?
Though I am a shareholder of Indigo, I would agree with you, because it's not about monopoly. It's not about. It's not even a political matter. This is a public issue. That is something which we all should be accepting. I said I'm actually I have reasonable investment in Indigo. But see, why I have invested, as you said, 65 to 70% of the this thing, or the air transportation is being carried by Indigo. There is a reason for that. It's not that government has given them monopoly. It is they were smart enough to acquire that percentage. See, let's forget what has happened now. So, there have been big companies in India, like Kingfisher, Jet Airways, Go First. What has happened to them? Because of these airlines collapse, because of the mismanagement, excessive debt, fuel price volatility, and poor financial planning. They couldn't sustain it. And probably Indigo utilized all these situations, and they were actually managing the situation very smartly. They were expanding. And who actually gave them the large lion share? It is the users. It is the public. It is the passengers actually gave them that majority share. It is not that government has given the monopoly. That is the point. As an investor, why I invested in Indigo? Because I saw that 70% of the air transport operations are being done by Indigo. But if they are not the monopoly, we have Air India carrying around 27%. Air India and Air India Express together actually carries around 27%. I would say it is a duopoly, not monopoly. It's a duopoly with Indigo carrying around, handling around 67%, and Air India and Air India Express handling around 27%. It is actually the duopoly which is happening in India. And Air India is now smart enough to get increasing share. And probably with this issue, Air India will get a better share also. And then there is Vistara merger is there, Alaska Airlines is there, SpiceJet is there, several other regional players are there. See, it is a political perspective. As usual, Congress and Rahul Gandhi is saying everything with a political angle. I am again saying this is not a political issue, it's a public issue. It is not a public issue, it is a public safety issue. Why government has imposed this rules, very important flight, those who are flying, for the pilots, they have said there has to be proper rest. There has to be, when they are landing, only 2 landings per night. See, these are for the interest of the public. If, I saw a very interesting meme today. If the pilots are overworked, they are overworked. And if there's a meme or the cartoon, when nobody is saying about that regarding doctors who work for 36 hours, 48 hours together. So, I mean, we are, or at least the government is, see, public. If I am a passenger, I am not knowing whether that particular pilot has fallen for the last 24 hours continuously. I am not aware of that. So who is taking care of that? It is DGCA which is actually monitoring this. Are they getting enough rest? Are the passengers at risk? Who is monitoring? Government is monitoring through DGCA. All these airlines were given about this new change in rest phase for pilots around 1 year ago. Other than, and they started strictly implementing it from the 1st November 2025. All the other airlines complied with this, and they made recruitment for pilots and other staff, and scheduled their the flights accordingly. But probably they had a wrong idea, because Indigo thought having it at 70%, government will not touch them. If they touch them, the whole, the airline operation will go to dogs, as it has happened right now. This is a very important learning, even for the government. So, they were warned, or they were given notice 1 year back. I'm very upset with Indigo, though I am a shareholder with Indigo. I know today it has fallen 7%, and the last 1 week it has fallen suddenly. But see, it is not easy to shift from Indigo to any other airline. Like, it's a very, very competitive industry. Why there are fewer players? Why a player like Jet Airways went out of business? So it's actually not an easy thing. And Indigo made use of these opportunities, and they expanded smartly. They were well known for their timing. I'm sure the Indigo flights were well known for their timing, but they didn't listen to the government warning and government notice, and they thought they are above this, and finally government caught up with them. I think that was what has happened. You know what has happened? Over 2,000 cancellations has happened in a week. Nearly 10 lakh bookings were cancelled. I think 827 crores of rupees were refunded to the passengers. Thousands of bags were misplaced, and passengers got stranded across airports throughout India, even for overnight. So that was a very, very, I don't think it is a policy failure. I don't think it is a problem of the monopoly. I think it was a corporate mismanagement by Indigo, and they should be held answerable. And that is what is my take on that. And DG has issued a very strong show cause notice to the Indigo leadership. The CEO and the COO has been summoned, and accountability is being enforced. I think that is what the government should do. And another very interesting thing, they have done a lot of measures, at least temporarily, to protect the interest of the passengers. There was a temporary relaxation given to this FTTL norms till February 2026, so that Indigo can readjust it himself. There was a cap put on other airfares. See, even the other airlines are smart. You know, what was the flight charge from Delhi to Trivandrum? Probably 70,000, 80,000. To Cochin, it was 50,000. Have you ever heard about such a flight fare by other airlines? So all are playing according to the situation. And government put an cap on the airfares that you can't go beyond 18,000, whichever is the distance. So and airports were instructed to handle assist passengers proactively, and special teams were deployed to dispose the baggage properly. So I think government is taking their effort. Now, Rahul Gandhi's monopoly model statement, it's actually a political game, isn't it? I won't see beyond that. Is it the government which has killed the Jet Airways? It is not. That is not the situation, no. And Air India is doing very well. Probably they have their own problems with the aircrafts. So it's actually a very tough time. And even the other issue came along with that. If you remember, Indigo has a lot of Airbuses or Airbuses, no? That 320 Neo Airbuses. They were grounded for some time. And that came along with this thing. I think two totally different situations clashed together and created this trouble. I would say that is also part of, because as we know, across the world, 6,000 aircraft were brought down temporarily 24 to 48 hours to update the software because of the solar issue, isn't it? So many things happen together. And see, all of this, when somebody is handling such a large number of flights in a country, and that too, it contributes to 67%, one issue. And when two issues come together, the cascading will happen, the domino effect will happen. And unfortunately, that has happened. And probably they say by December 10th, the situations will get better. I don't know. Even today, there are a lot of flights cancelled. Around 500 of the flights of Indigo has cancelled. Probably they have carried out so many services. I think it will get better in 2 days' time. But they should not go scot-free. When government is seriously implementing some rules, and a notice was given 1 year back, they thought they could get away with this without implementing that. That was a very unfortunate thing from the side of Indigo. That is what I would say regarding
and
this.
also one important point is 610 crore rupees has been returned to the customers. It has been refunded.
Yeah, see, ultimately, I am worried as an investor in that company. The shares are falling. But I think it will stabilize in 2 days' time. When every bad news comes, the market responds accordingly. But then that won't replace their share, market share. It is still 70% is going to be handled by Indigo only, isn't it? See, with an issue, we should not be destroying a company. That is my perspective on any company. Like they have not properly obliged to the or responded to the government notices. They should be taken to task. But then, see, things will happen like this, and they should be fined. They should be brought to justice, and probably they should be allowed to continue. Like it's a big company, and can you imagine Indian air transportation without Indigo, who is handling 70% of the flights? Who will take over? It's actually a very especially when big companies have failed, like Jet Airways, and as I said, the other two, Go First and Kingfisher has failed because of, see, it's not a very easy industry to handle. It's having a lot of risks also. Have you ever thought Kingfisher will go bankrupt? Have you ever thought Jet Airways will go bankrupt? Go First. So it's actually a very critical industry. We need that industry because air transportation is actually, the number of airports have gone up tremendously. A lot of people now in India are rich enough to travel by flight, and this is only one company which can handle that. We don't have a public air transport system by the government, which should not be like that. So they have done something wrong. They are not obliged to government instruction, and they should be taken to task, but then they should be allowed to continue. That is what I would say. I'm ready to suffer my investment for the time being.
Yeah. So, this is a huge challenge for the Modi government, the aviation industry.
And one thing is, politics should not come into this. Political leaders, this is what I said when I said about inviting to the banquet Rahul Gandhi. Has he said anything positive about the current government for the last 10 years? He finds political fault with everything. Probably that is the reason he was not invited to the banquet. The same line he is playing. It should have been, it's a simple common sense that it is not government created problem. Actually, Indigo grew to such a big company, operating 70% of it's by the passengers only. No, the passengers allowed them to grow. Otherwise, just think 1 month back, everybody trusted Indigo for the timely flight. They had the reputation of flying at the right time. I'm sure it was, every one of us will agree who has traveled by flight. And they are operating in certain areas as monopoly because nobody else is there to fly a plane to that certain regions. So we should not be destroying a company. Probably we should be handling, and that is my request to Rahul Gandhi and Congress. Don't use this as a political weapon to destroy another company or saying monopoly things like that. It was not monopoly. Other companies are still operating in India, and they operate in probably sectors where there is profit, and Indigo is the one company which is actually doing it in all sectors. That is why I take on that.
Yeah, coming to the last point, Vinodji, and as you know, in Karnataka there's a lot of chaos and confusion. Confusion is the word, because we don't know who the next CM, or if Siddaramaiah will give up his chief minister post to Shivkumar. So now DK Shivkumar condemned the summons issued by ED regarding his donations to National Herald and Young India. So this is a new development. How do you see this?
See, this is not a small issue. We have discussed this, I think, 2 weeks back also, that Associated Journals Limited owned actually the National Herald, which was set up by Nehru. It was a paper of Congress to send out their policies or views and this thing. And AJL owned prime real estate across India valued around 2,000 crores currently. But you know that a new company called Young Indian, mainly controlled by Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi, acquired AJL assets by paying just 50 lakhs. Because Congress has given 90 crores loan to AJL to take the National Herald forward. Unfortunately, it failed. And this property worth 50 lakhs were paid to AJL, adjusting the loan of 90 crores. And just by paying Young Indian paying 50 lakhs, they got an asset of 2,000 crores. Now, ED thinks that this is some sort of a financial scam, and massive assets were controlled by a company primarily owned by Gandhis, and primarily, and FIR was actually, ED was investigating them, but now Delhi Police Economic Offence Wing has started a fresh FIR against Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, and many other senior Young Indian functionaries, senior AJL Young Indian functionaries, with criminal conspiracy, cheating, and money laundering. And where do this DK Shivkumar come? DK Shivkumar has donated 25 lakhs personally to National Herald. He has donated 2 crore rupees through a trust associated with him. His brother DK Suresh has donated 25 lakhs to Young Indian. So the ED and the Economic Offence Wing of Delhi Police has demanded, what are the sources of this money? What are the trust? You have to produce the trust documents. What are the bank statements by which you have done this? How did you get this money into your bank account? What shows the income tax filings, and a full explanation of the purpose of this particular donation, details of trustees and financial beneficiaries, why this was done. Because agencies argue that Young Indian was not functioning like a charity, but as a vehicle for questionable real estate acquisition. Thus, any large donation becomes a part of a larger suspected money trail. That is what has happened. He is saying it is political vendetta. No. When the case is there, when they are investigating Young Indian, when they are investigating all the money trail, whoever has supplied or donated money to this particular organization, which the ED and the Delhi police is investigating, has to come under investigation. That is the law of the land. No one is above law. That is what we have to understand. Whether he is a deputy CM or not, the law must follow this money trail. If property worth 2,000 crore was transferred for a 50 lakh rupees, imagine that. The ED is alleging 2,000 crore property is being transferred with just a mere nominal amount of 50 lakhs. Naturally, every rupee connected with this deal has to be accounted for. Donation was not above, no donations are above any scrutiny, isn't it? If an organization reviewing donations is suspected of a financial wrongdoing, investigating agencies will naturally investigate into the donation And what is the standard? That is the standard procedure worldwide, not even in India. I mean, not only in India, everywhere it is the rule. And this Congress narrative of political vendetta is a predictable one. It is nothing unusual. Every time a major corruption case reaches its logical next step, Congress call it as a political harassment, isn't it? So the question is, if everything is clean, why can't he? They have just asked for the documents. Why can't Mr. D.K. Shivkumar hand over this documents? Because these are very common documents which any investigating agency will have. Why is worried? Why is politicizing the whole thing? They just want to know where the money has come from, who has given it to D.K. Shivkumar, how D.K. Shivkumar got it, why he has transferred it, and how he has transferred it. That is all. So the Congress must answer how huge assets were transferred to a family-controlled company called Young Indian. It's a very important question. The core allegation is not about donors like Shivkumar. That is the most important thing Shivkumar should understand. The core allegation is not about donors like Shivkumar. It is about whether donations helped or sustained, legitimize a fraudulent operation or fraudulent corporate structure, acquiring around assets worth around 2,000 crores with a small sum of 50 lakhs. So ED's action is consistent with past investigations. And very interestingly, D.K. Shivkumar has been investigated by ED in the past, though Supreme Court, the court has actually allowed him to go because of the lack of political, lack of proofs. So it's important that he has to comply with that rather than crying that it's a political vendetta. That is what I would say.
Yeah, there's one final comment is that unfortunately the Gandhis are above the law. So imagine if it was...
That is what they think. That is what they think. I think the nation is above all. The law is above all. Justice is above all. And they initially thought, probably 10 years back, they thought they can get away with everything and anything. But now I think the lawman is going to come after you if you have done some mischief. And it's not a small mischief, it's a big mischief, financial mischief. That is what the ED is implying. Let them investigate why they are worried. It is Congress property which somebody has taken over. A family, that is what ED is alleging, isn't it? It is every congressman has to be worried about this. Probably they are afraid to talk on this. That is a different issue.
Yeah, we will have to wait and see how things progress. So thanks, Vinodji, for coming, and we will see you again next week.
Okay.
Until then, Jai Hind and Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.